seen the short where I showed you the defective paint job that I did to this thing a couple years ago. It lasted for a couple years and then all of a sudden started flaking this year. So anyways, I have her in the shop now. I'm going to refinish this. I'm going to try the self-etching primer this time instead of the cheapest primer that I could find. Maybe that'll help me. So yeah, I'll get you guys up in the cradle, and first thing I got to do here is drain the gas. I'm not sure how much is in this tank. Looks like there's enough anyway. So, all right. So to drain my tank, I have a jerry can, some rubber hose. This is the best way that I've found for draining a tank. I don't know, there might be better ways. You can use a pump, take it out the top. This to me seems like the easiest. Just get a chunk of rubber hose that's big enough to fit over top of your fuel line. Disconnect it from the carburetor. Shove your rubber hose over your line. Open the fuel shut off and let it rip. Alright, while that gas drains, let's take the hood off. We'll start. Muffler's a little warm, so use the rag. Take off my air cleaner. Alright, just a few bolts at the front of the hood. I guess I don't really have to worry about scratching the paint on this thing. I love these little magnetic trays. They make every job so much better for holding all your little nuts and bolts, parts. All right, next we'll take off this band. Just a large flathead screwdriver. Now with the band out of the way, this should just slip right up. All right. Now that the tank is empty, I'll just seal up this jerry can, make sure the hose is completely drained. Put this outside. I do not like keeping gas in my shop. All right, next step in taking off this gas tank, I'm going to remove the fuel line because it actually wraps around the air cleaner. So that's the easiest way. Take the line off of the tank. Looks like there's a couple drops dribbling out of here, but that's fine. Sediment bowl still got stuff in it. Now, next, back here, should just turn out by hand. There we go. Tank's loose. Okay. At this point, I have removed the sediment bowl, drained the gas that was in it in the most environmentally friendly way possible. There's absolutely no way I did it on the driveway. And remove the rest of our fuel shut off here. All right, I'm just going to return to our environmentally friendly fuel disposal facility and make sure I've got the last few drops out of this tank. All right, now that I have the gas tank completely void of gas and dismantled, it's going to sit outside for the night. Let stuff evaporate out of it before I start monkeying with it too much. So we'll just start with removing the paint and decals off of here. A heck of a deal. Last time I was south of the border, went to Tractor Supply Company. I think it was $3 for 6 of these flapper discs, which up here you can easily pay $6 for one. So score. Days later, I had to pack things up not long after I started this the other night. And I've gone through with my wire wheel, taken off most things. I'm gonna have to get in there with the wire brush and clean up some of this stuff, but most of the paint's gone. Now I want to try something that I haven't tried before. I'm gonna try it on the gas tank. Heavy duty stripper. Maybe it'll be a little bit less labor intensive if I can just peel the paint away. So we'll see how that works like magic, or if it's leaves something to be desired. All right, I'm guessing this stuff is pretty caustic. Never used it before, so I'm going to use some rubber gloves with it. They say basically just apply a generous coat and leave it until the surface starts dissolving. So let's leave it for a few minutes. See how things look. If it works the way it's supposed to, you should just be able to take some paper towel and wipe down the bare metal. I'm not going to hold my breath that it works like that, but we'll find out. Okay, we're about 10 minutes later here. And let's see if I can catch it on camera. You see that? I think this stuff is going to work like a miracle. So I'm going to let that sit for a few more minutes. and then we'll see what comes up. We're at about the 15-minute mark here. Things seem to have slowed down, so I'm gonna get out my scraper here and see what we're left with. Actually, before I scrape, I think I'll just use some paper towel, see what wipes off easy. Not bad. Okay, so this did just work on the spots that had about 1/8 of an inch of the stuff. So it does need to be on reasonably thick. But look at that for what wiped off with just the cloth. And I think, oh yeah, most of this is going to come off with the scraper now. It's going to be way less wire wheeling. Flapper discs, wire brushing. About 10 minutes later. Yeah, that's crazy. Ah. There, quite the chunk of paint. Now that I got the majority of the paint off the top of that remover, let's see how long it takes to get the rest off the flapper wheel here. Alright, I'm not sure how well you can see them in the camera, but there are two minor dents in here that have been driving me nuts ever since I painted this thing. Actually, there's three. There's one right here. This one really bothered me. You can see it in the sun. I'm not sure if you can see it when I turn this or not. It's a small dent there, little dent there, little dent there. I got no real good way of getting in on the other side and straightening them out. It's just a cosmetic fix. I'm gonna put some Bondo on. We'll fill those little holes Just so that when I put the paint on, I don't have to stare at that dent anymore. Just gonna make sure that it's nice and clean. We wipe all of that paint thinner out of there. I've usually got a pack of door shims hanging around the shop. They're handy for lots of stuff, including as stir sticks for this. Now, I don't know what the exact formula is. I'm sure I could read the can, but normally I just put about that much hardener with it. Mix it up. And we'll let that set up, sand her down, and then I think we're ready to clean and prime. Okay, it's about 45 minutes later now. I ran out to grab some TSP so I can wash stuff down, and I am ready to paint. Put the primer on. Bondo has dried rock hard. Just give it some light sanding, smoothing everything down. See how it goes. Pretty good. Still a little bit of a dip here, so I'm just going to put a little thin skiff of glazing putty over both sides here. A little, just this tiniest little dimple there. I don't know the right way to do this. This is how I normally do it. A little bit on the paddle. Pull it over where I want to go. Any of the body guys out there that happen to find this video are probably going to be upset with me. I have no technique. It's okay. I'm an amateur. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I still get the job done at the end of the day. So. that some time to set up. I believe it's about a half an hour. The print on these things is so small, can't see it, but we'll leave this till it's hardened up and we'll be back. Okay, now I'm going to clean it with some TSP. And I think we'll be ready to put a primer on. Alright, so I have one step automotive self-etch primer this time around from Dominion Sure Seal Limited. We're going to give that a shot. I'm hoping that the self-etching gives it a little bit better adhesion. I don't know a whole lot about painting or any of this stuff. If any of you body guys spot anything that I'm doing that's blatantly wrong, throw in the comments. But I've done a few tractors and this is the only one that I've had the paint actually have an issue with afterwards. So not sure what happened, but I don't want to have to do this tank again or the hood. So I'm going to try this stuff. Hopefully it makes a difference. Probably should have plugged this hole before I started. This is not too late. I don't think I'll affect the threads too badly with this stuff. Just in case. And I am going to paint the two halves separately and flip it over once this is dried. while I wait for the tank to dry, get to work on the hood again. You can see I had it mostly down to bare metal. Just have to clean off the little bit of oxidation that's happened since that and get rid of the last chunks of paint here. Probably another 20 minutes or so of cleaning this guy up. Okay, this stuff's still just a little gummy, but we are a good 20 minutes after applying the first coat of primer, so let's get the other side.